The Commission resumes. We have resumed somewhat later than usual because we were told that the evidence leaders were having a meeting and we were asked to only start once they were ready. Before we proceed, we have, since we last sat, lost another jurist who made an important contribution to our constitutional jurisprudence, and that's former Chief Justice Pius Lange. I would like us to stand and observe a minute's silence in his memory.
Sekumeni yimzuzwana sithi ukuhlonipha ukusweleka kwejaji elilase Constitutional Court.
Thank you. Mr. Madlanga, is there anything you wish to tell us about the matters that stood over from Monday? Or is Mr. Budlander going to address us? Which of the evidence leaders is going to do?
Mr. Budlander, as I indicated last time, Mr. Chairman.
Address us on the way forward.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. As members of the Commission will remember, on Monday we stood down until today for the reason that we wished to see what the outcome would be of the attempts to obtain interim funding for the arrested and injured persons for their legal representation until the Constitutional Court has decided whether to grant leave to appeal, and if so, whether to uphold the appeal or the contemplated appeal. The purpose of standing down till today was to establish whether interim funding was available. If so, the immediate problem would fall away. If not, the Commission would then be asked to deal with the application for postponement and decide the matter. We have established, and one of the reasons we were late, for which I apologize, we have established that one of the potential funders has a meeting of its board tonight. There are still other prospects, I understand, which are being investigated. We've been advised that other applications have been made. And under the circumstances, it seems to us that it would be prudent to stand the matter down further until Monday. And on Monday, one of two things would happen. Either by then the interim funding will have been obtained, in which case the problem falls away, at least in the interim period, until the Constitutional Court has made its decision. Alternatively, the interim funding will not have been obtained by Monday, in which event we would propose that the Commission decide the application for postponement and make a decision on that matter. With regard to that aspect, the legal team for the accused, for the injured and arrested people are not here today, and we would ask that the Commission direct that the Secretary write to them advising that if by Monday the funding issue has not been resolved, the interim funding issue has not been resolved, the Commission proposes to hear and decide further submissions on the application for postponement and to decide the application for postponement, and they are invited to be here to reply to whatever submissions are made in that regard. So in short, Chair, we propose firstly that the matter stand down until Monday morning at 9:30 to hear whether the application for interim funding has been successful. Secondly, we propose that if by then the application for interim funding has not been approved, the Commission should then hear further submissions and decide the application for a postponement. And we propose, thirdly, that the Commission should direct the Secretary to inform the legal representatives of the injured and arrested persons that in the absence of interim funding, the application for a postponement will be decided on Monday, and they are invited to be here to reply to whatever submissions are made in that regard.
Umnumzana ubheka ayesacacisa uba njengoba besimile ukusuka ngomvulo ukuzofika namhlanje kuba siva olochaso lethutyana kwabo bamele amaxhoba enzakeleyo nabo babanjiweyo ke becela uba kuza kubakho umsimizamo eyenziwayo okwelithutyana ukufikela ngomvulo kulapho ke ngomvulo sava iziphumo uba kukhona okwenzekile na kwaye bengekho nje balindele uba babe khona ngomvulo kucelwa unobhala uba azababhalela abacela uba baze bafike ngomvulo kuzokwazi uba ngaba akubanga khonzame eziphumelelayo bakwazi ukuqhubeleka nesicelo esizohoxiswa ukufikela kwiviki ezintathu.
Mandikhonse nje ngokuthi bethetha ngumhlekazi uBatlenda ngasemhlekazi uBheke.
Yes, Mr. Bezos, sorry, Mr. Budland, I'm going to call him Mr. Bezos in a moment. Is there anything further you wish to say?
No, nothing further, Chair.
I think last time on Monday you indicated that the attitude of the evidence leaders to the postponement application was something that would also stand over. So I take it that that's still the position. And previously there was no opposition from those persons who took a stance, party took a stance, to the postponement application, but that situation might alter. There may be opposition on Monday, so that's something that obviously Mr. Porter and his team must bear in mind. Is that correct?
That is so, Chair, and it would be helpful with respect if this was specifically drawn to their attention that they should not assume that it will not be opposed on Monday, because that may not be the case.
The latest point's clearly right.
Njengoko ke ekwenzeni kwesicelo bewungekho qela liphikisana naso kodwa kuthiwa ingenzeka into ongaphikisa ngomvulo.
We will direct that such a letter be sent. One of the other matters that obviously must be dealt with is that we must ask them to tell us what the situation is in relation to the proposed application to the Constitutional Court. Whether it's been filed and what the situation is in that regard. Yes.
That would be very helpful, Chair.
Waye amaqela awenza isicelo sohoxiso kuzawucela uba ngomvulo akwazi ukusichazela uba bandawoni nani isicelo sabo ngaba sebesenzile okanye abakaqhubeki naso.
Mr. Bezos, while we were in chambers waiting word that the evidence leaders were ready, you came to see us and you indicated you wished to make a statement to the Commission. Is that correct?
Permission, I would like to hand in a copy. I'm sorry that we do not have additional copies, but those can be made. But with your permission, I would like to read out the statement of the setting out the attitude of the LRC.
Yes, you're going to read it out now.
If I may,
yes, please do.
Yes, we, the LRC, are concerned about maintaining public confidence in the effectiveness and credibility of the inquiry, which would be seriously eroded by repeated postponements. We and the clients who have represented remain committed to ensuring that the conditions under which miners live and work and the processes that led to the tragedy that unfolded are thoroughly and impartially investigated. Accordingly, we support efforts that are currently being made to ensure that adequate resources are made available to facilitate appropriate legal representation of the parties before the Commission. it is of the greatest importance as justice is seen to be served by the Commission that is mandated to investigate all the causes of the tragedy. We must reiterate our concern that once the Commission resumes, it should proceed with its task and complete its work as expeditiously as possible. At this stage, you must place on record that in accordance with the instructions of our clients, will no longer be appearing before the Commission or participating in its proceedings until the issue of funding of legal representation of the parties concerned has been resolved. We wish to assure the Commission of our commitment that once this issue has been satisfactorily resolved, we will once more be available to participate in these proceedings and to support the work of the Commission in terms of the instructions of our clients.
Thank you, Mr. Bezos. Mr. Semenya, is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your clients?
Incwadi biyitifeza ngumhlekazi uBizos apha ithi evela kwa-LRC ithi bona bazimisele okokuba ngalo lonke ixesha basebenze okokuba kuze kuphezeke kumene sidima sale commission uthi bathi ke bona mayiphande lento kuze kuvele imbangela yalento eyenzeka baveza okokuba ngokubona njenge-LC bazawuhoxa kulento kude kufike apho kulungise lento yoncedo lwezimali kwababanye kuyothi emva koko ke bese bayafika futhi bazokwenza uncedo olu laba bantu ababamele.
What is the attitude of London to the application made by the evidence leaders?
Chair, members of the Commission, thank you. We endorse the request for stand down fully. Thank you.
Abakwalonmi nabo bemi kunye nale sisicelo esifakwa.
The Human Rights Commission?
Thank you, Chair. As indicated on Monday, the Human Rights Commission would support a stand down to Monday in the hope that the efforts to secure interim funding will be successful. This is in line with our support for the process to continue only if it is inclusive and responsive and procedurally fair. And we believe that all efforts that could be made to ensure the return of the parties and the resolution of the funding question on an interim basis would certainly be something that the Human Rights Commission would support.
Ababe commission yamalungelo oluntu nabo bemi kulo ndawo okokuba makwenziwe yonke into esemandleni kwenziwe zonke inzamo okokuba wonke umuntu athole uncedo lokuba emelwe kule commission baya xasa isicelo sokuba ime commission kude kube ngumsombuluko.
Chair, the position taken up by the evidence leaders is, in our respectful view, logical and consistent, and we support it.
Thank you. Mr. Marcy, is there anything that you wish to say? Sorry, Maseve. Yes, sorry. Forgive me for getting the name wrong. Ms. Maseve, is there anything you wish to say?
Chairperson will abide the decision of the Commission.
Uthi bazawuvumelana nawe nontoni i-commission ezokwenza isigqibo ngayo.
Thank you. Mr. Gumbi.
Chairperson, on behalf of Lieutenant Baloyi and the Lepaku family, will abide by the decision of the Chairperson.
Omele Baloyi uthi naye bazovumelana ke nesigqibo esizokwenziwa ilo commission.
Mr. Kili, I understand you are here on behalf of Siri, is that correct?
Indeed, Chair.
Do you wish to say, Siri, I'm not quite sure what the role of Siri is at the moment, because you were instructing counsel on behalf of AMCU, and I think the families, is that correct?
That's the position, Chair.
So, and they've withdrawn, but you're still here anyway to say something on behalf of Siri.
Ibona ukhona wena noma baba kwa Siri nabani bamele bangekho apha andithi nina benixhasa unantsika uAMCU masive uthini ke mvuka ba.
Chair, indeed, that's the position. I only came here to advise the Commission of our current position, which is still that both the families and AMCU will not participate up until the whole funding problem has been resolved for for the arrested and the injured, Chair. Therefore, I cannot participate or share any views in terms of the proposal by the evidence leaders, Chair.
uthi ke njengabantu abamele iAMCO emele nezalamani bathe kabazawubakho apha kude kwenziwe isigqibo sokuba oluncedo lezi mali liyavela sisemi kulonto ethona.
Is there any other party who's represented today who wishes to say something in regard to what is before us at the moment?
Yes, Mr. Chairperson, our instructions are that we still support the proposal by the evidence leaders.
Thank you very much.
Uthi nabo bahambelana nesicelo esi basemi kulonda okokuba baxhasa isicelo senziwe.
In the circumstances, it would seem that to be consistent with the stance that we adopted on Monday, that before we consider the postponement application as such, we should wait to see, at least until Monday, what is the result of the endeavours to obtain interim funding on behalf of those the injured and arrested parties. So in the circumstances, the order we make is that the sitting of the Commission will be adjourned until Monday, but also, as I've said, a letter will be sent by the Secretary to the legal team representing the injured and arrested parties along the lines suggested by Mr. Budlander in the remarks that he made. We will adjourn until we will adjourn until 9:30 on Monday.
Icala emva kwetho